The top story on ABC News Breakfast. Police are investigating whether another shooting early this morning is related to a recent spate of drive-by shootings in Sydney. A woman and two children aged 3 and 6 have escaped injury when 4 shots were fired into their home in the city's west.
Police haven't ruled out a connection but say it may be related to a domestic dispute. The New South Wales Crime Commission's been asked to help investigations into the drive-by shootings. For more now, we're joined by the New South Wales Police Minister, Mike Gallagher. He joins us from Sydney. Thanks for joining us, Minister. What can you tell us about this latest incident last night? Have you been briefed at all?
Look, it's very early in the investigation, Paul, but there is a suggestion coming from police that it may well be related to an earlier matter, a different matter, a domestic matter, not necessarily related to the recent number of drive-by shootings that we've seen in parts of southwestern Sydney. OK, and we'll hear from the police in about 20 minutes or so. So we'll move on to the broader picture now of the drive-by shootings. How do you regard the spate and the number within such a short time of people going around and shooting things? Well, I take my advice from the police as well as now the Crime Commission, also talking to them yesterday. There is a concern that for the last couple of years, in fact, we've had a number of drive-by shootings occur in the Sydney metropolitan area in particular. This has been happening for some time. Police have used their normal methodology in terms of investigating those matters in the past. However, police have approached the Crime Commission because they believe that they have exhausted all normal avenues available to police to conduct the investigation because of the wall of silence. The Crime Commission doesn't worry about walls of silence. They go through the wall of silence using their coercive powers, but they also have an ability and the resources to look at people's finances, working collaboratively with the tax office as well, to look at the involvement of organised crime figures and people involved in criminal enterprise and their financial status. And
so how are you feeling then about the police moving this way? Presumably you've agreed that the police have come to their wits' end and they need more powers.
Well, it's not necessarily a case of having the more powers. The powers are there. The Crime Commission have been used in a number of very significant investigations in recent years where police come to this point in the road where they believe that quite simply they're not able to get the information that they need using the normal powers that police have. So they then approach the Crime Commission, which has happened, of course, and the Crime Commission have agreed because they also have intelligence that they get from the conduct of their investigations in relation to these matters and other matters. And it's important to realise, of course, that people will now potentially find themselves being subjected to interrogation by the Crime Commission that has coercive powers. We've seen them in the past in terms of royal commissions of inquiries. We saw what happened with the New South Wales Police Force and the organised crime figures that worked with those corrupt officers, the way in which the coercive powers dismantled those networks.
Well, it is a difficult situation. It's more complex, isn't it? Because the messages from the police are that sometimes in these drive-by shootings they've had trouble working out who the potential targets are. So you could have a situation where people are being forced to give information over that might endanger their lives.
Yeah, look, it is a difficult situation, but you also have a situation where unless the police are there and they see the person pulling the trigger or the person makes admissions to them that they were the ones that fired the gun, it is very hard to pinpoint who was the individual who conducted the shooting if you don't have a witness coming forward. What police have been very effective doing in New South Wales, and sadly it hasn't been reported as well as it should be, that whilst they haven't been able to knock over the people who've been doing the shootings, they know who are the ones involved, and they've actually been able to throw quite a large number of people into the dock for a number of offences, and they've had significant resources and success in that area.
If they know who's involved, why do they need extra powers?
Well, that's my argument at this stage in terms of the immediate response. What needs to happen, though, Paul, is that, and I'm getting this from police themselves, New South Wales is not an island. It is not separated from the rest of the country, and there does need to be a national approach to organised crime in terms of how these matters are dealt with. It needs to be consistent right across the country. Firearms coming into the country, drugs coming into the country are one thing, but organised crime networks setting up in one state but having their tentacles into another, that's something where we need cooperation at a national level as well.
One thing that is uniform nationally as well is that coercive powers can be abused. What procedures have you got in place to oversee this whole investigation?
Well, of course, the Crime Commission has an oversight body, and that is the Police Integrity Commission. It actually has the ability to bring before the Police Integrity Commission people involved in Crime Commission investigations if they believe there has been some improper conduct taking place. And we've seen that in New South Wales. The Police Integrity Commission is prepared to confront the Crime Commission if they believe that there is an investigation that's warranted. So I'm satisfied that we do have the checks and balances in New South Wales.
Have you ever heard of so many drive-by shootings in such a short period of time?
Look, sadly it has been going on for a number of years. And in the past we've often acquainted it to bikies, and police have set up their respective task forces to deal with that. And they've had some success in dealing with the bikies, but occasionally you'll get those people who are not bikie related but are organised crime related, who don't necessarily fear the normal criminal justice system in New South Wales. And that's where the introduction of an organisation such as the Crime Commission, which has the ability to pursue people's money, their homes, their boats, their lifestyle, that can have a significant psychological impact on criminals who all of a sudden find that they're now playing in an environment that they're not familiar with.
Are you concerned about the psychological impact that these shootings might be having on the people of New South Wales, the people of Sydney in these areas?
For sure, there's no doubt. I mean, the police themselves have made sure that the resources are on the ground in terms of visibility. But as you can appreciate, Paul, it's difficult when somebody just drives down a street, jumps out of a car or doesn't even necessarily get out of the car and lets a spray of bullets go and then drives off. The people affected around that community are devastated. Police respond to it. But it's important that technology and the resources of an organisation of the Crime Commission are put into place, so it's just not a normal investigation from now on, that it's actually working at a completely different level. Police involved, or people involved in this sort of criminal enterprise, from now in relation to this current matter, can wonder themselves whether the person that they are speaking to, whether the person that they are taking into their confidence, were themselves actually spoken to by the Crime Commission and are now prepared to give information to assist the Crime Commission. It's exactly the same situation that occurred, that paranoia that occurred within the New South Wales Police Force during the Royal Commission, that needs to be injected into these criminal elements.
Minister Mike Gallagher, we thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you very much.